Oh, I see it's live now.
Hello, everybody. I hope someone is going to join me tonight. My glasses are crooked, but look, I hope you look in the group and see this lady's quilt. Lorri, I put a photograph of one of your quilts in the group.
Oh, okay.
Now, guys, this is Lorri. Lorri is the owner of Kirby Komforts and she sells quilts. She has an Etsy shop, which is Kirby Komforts. Comforts is spelled with a K, Komforts. So visit her Etsy shop. I'll put the link under the feed immediately following the broadcast. Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Linda.
I'm so glad you're joining us. Laurie, the name of my group is A Quilter's Journey. I'm learning to quilt correctly. Everything I know about quilting is wrong, and I quilt by hand. I don't know how to do that beautiful thing where you move the fabric under the needle of your
Free motion
machine.
quilting. Yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait to learn that. But Laurie, I have never seen quilts like yours. They have a frayed edge. Now
Mhm.
go, tell us what it is.
Actually, when you're doing your piece quilting, your seams are hidden underneath the fabric.
Yeah,
Rag quilting is just the opposite. Your seams are exposed. For example, let's say, I don't know if you can see this or not. Let's say this is two pieces of fabric. Let me try and get here. Here we go.
yeah,
This is the back side. This is the right side.
okay.
Well, what you would do is you would sew the wrong sides together so that that seam is here.
Yeah.
You want to make your seam about an inch wide, and then you're going to clip about every eighth of an inch or quarter of an inch apart, almost to that seam. Then when you wash it, it's going to rag out.
Oh my goodness.
Rag quilts are the most forgiving quilts to make. If you make a mistake, it doesn't matter, it'll hide it.
And you're saying RAG, rag.
Yeah, because these exposed seams, when you clip them, they're going to rag out when you wash it. They're going to fray out like a pair of old denim jeans. When you cut your dungarees off
Yeah,
and you don't hem them, how they rag out in strings.
yeah.
That's what that clipped seam is going to do on that quilt.
My good. Well, look, before you use your fabric, you're supposed to wash it
I never
and
do.
never do.
Mm-mm.
So
I never wash it.
when you finish making the top of the quilt,
You're going to make
or
all three layers at the same time.
so you don't use batting.
I used to. I have
Okay.
found that I like using flannel for the middle layer because that gives you an extra layer of fabric to create that fringe.
And when you wash it, that's the first time it's been washed.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, my goodness. Where did you learn that?
I was self-taught. And I started teaching myself how to do this about 10 years ago.
My goodness.
And then through the years I figured out other ways to do the same thing to get a better look. Before I was just using maybe a half inch seam and clipping it maybe an eighth of an inch deep. Didn't really give me a thick fluff.
Okay.
And I was using batting at the same time. I didn't like that look. So I started using flannel. If you use batting, all right, for example,
Okay.
this is a quilt square right here for a quilt that I'm
Yeah.
working on.
Okay.
You have your top layer,
Okay.
And then here's a middle layer of flannel,
Okay.
and then the back layer of flannel. So there's 3 layers of fabric in here.
Okay.
Now this one is already quilted.
Okay.
You're gonna put your 3 layers together as a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
And the typical way to quilt it is just sew an X from corner to corner.
Okay.
Then on the next one, see this one's already quilted.
Okay.
The next one, you're going to take going to do the same thing. You can see the X in here,
I see it.
okay? And you're going to put the back sides together. Now, mine are already clipped on the edges.
I see.
When you do this at home, unless you have an AccuQuilt
Okay.
with specialty dyes, you're going to have to hand cut that seam yourself.
Okay.
But I'm going to show you, for example, let's get this thing turned around here a little bit.
Okay.
Come on, Mom. Trying to get my machine started here.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a couple of them together that are not clipped just to show you.
Okay.
And you don't have to have a specialty machine. You can do this with any home sewing machine.
Okay.
So you're going to put your 3 layers together. Can y'all see
Okay.
this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let me get this back up here. Get it evened up.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous because I'm not used to doing this.
Oh, you're doing fine.
All right, let me adjust this tension there. We got. So we're gonna go. And I like to do several blocks like this at a time because it saves me a little bit of time. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 blocks
Okay.
together and X them, and then I'm going to show you what I mean about putting them together.
Okay.
Oh, wrong one. All right. I've got the 2 blocks sandwiched.
Okay.
It's quilt as you go.
Okay.
So now I'm going to put the wrong sides together like this,
Sides together. Okay.
and I'm going to make my seam.
Now, what kind of thread do you use?
I use cotton. You can use
Okay.
all-purpose. You can use cotton. All right. Let's see if we get this light going a little bit better here.
Yes.
All right. Now, you see how that seam is exposed? This is actually the back side of your quilt. So now that you've got, this is the front side that you're going to rag. And I recommend getting some spring-loaded scissors.
Okay.
You're just going to clip it about a 1/4 of an inch to an 1/8 inch apart just before you get to that seam. Let's see if I can do it this way so you can see a little bit
Now,
better.
do you how do you know where to clip?
Just estimate about a 1/4 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch apart,
I got
and you clip almost to your seam. All right. You see the seam?
Yes.
All right. Now you see how far I clip down.
Yes.
And there's your rag. And once you wash it, all this is going to fluff up and rag out, fray out.
Well, my goodness. And it's finished.
Yeah. Once you get all of it, I do several different sizes. Once I figure out what size the customer's going to want,
Yeah.
then I use my living room floor as my design board.
Okay.
I
Man,
we lay all the blocks out on the floor to get the pattern looking like we want it to.
I got you.
Then I pick them up, and then I sew the top row. I sew all of the top row together.
I got
Then I
you.
sew the second row together. Then I take the top row and I match up my seams
Yeah.
and then sew the rows together.
My goodness.
Then once it's all done, you sew around the perimeter of it and it's done.
And it's finished.
Now, some people like to put a binding around the outer edge. I don't.
Yes. Now, you wash it once it's totally together.
Once it's totally finished, I take it to the laundromat and wash it.
I see. Okay. Do you dry it?
Yes, ma'am. I throw it in the washer and I throw it in the dryer.
So you're using washable cotton.
I use all 100% cotton.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't
Okay.
use fleece.
I got you.
Fleece does not rag. It
Okay.
curls up.
Okay. I
Minky.
got
Minky. I don't use minky either. Minky's
Okay.
from the devil.
you.
It is the most hateful mess to ever work with.
Okay. Okay.
It's slippery. It slides. It creates a gosh awful mess because it
got you.
disintegrates once you cut it.
I got you.
Fleece, minky, all of those are polyester. Polyester
Right.
is nothing but spun plastic.
Okay. Okay.
I market
I didn't know that.
using no plastics. I use all natural, breathable cotton.
There you go. I got you. I got you. Now, Lorri,
Mm-hmm.
how did you start quilting?
I really hadn't done any quilting until about 10, 11 years ago. I did some little lap quilts, piece quilt, and I did stitching in the ditch for them. And then I found the rag quilts, and I've been doing rag quilts ever since.
And you taught yourself.
I taught myself. YouTube has a lot of videos, which
Okay.
of course at the time I didn't know it.
Yeah.
I read everything I could get my hands on,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I played with it. And like I
Had
said,
you ever seen rag quilts before?
nope.
Me either. I've never seen them.
I had heard about it in passing. Had
Okay.
no idea what they were. I started checking into them. I decided I'm gonna try that,
Mm.
and I played with it and figured out what I was doing wrong, how to make it look better, and it's been a learning process, and I learn still something new every day.
Oh my goodness. Your work is amazing. It is beautiful.
Well,
I
thank you,
just love it. I just love it.
thank you.
You do such a good job. And Lorri, I thank you for coming on with me tonight. Now I'm gonna put the link to your Etsy shop in the feed in the group when we go off air.
Okay,
And I'm gonna put the link on my YouTube channel.
okay.
And keep up the amazing work and keep in touch. I love your work. You do such a beautiful job.
Well, you haven't seen all of it yet. I have also figured out how.
Uh-oh, I just lost her. Say it again, Lorri. I lost internet for a minute.
That's okay. I can also now take photos transfer onto fabric, and put the photos in the quilt.
Oh, that is exciting. Oh my goodness. Now you're gonna have some in your Etsy shop, won't you?
There's a couple of them in the made to order section that has
Okay.
that has the memory quilts.
Okay. I didn't look at that section. I will. When I go off, I'll look in that
I
section.
recently did a my husband is a huge old country music fan.
Yes.
He designed one for me to make using photos of old CD covers.
Okay.
I downloaded the CD covers, adjusted the size so that they would fit in the fabric the way they're supposed to, or the way I
Mhm,
wanted them to, put a
mhm.
border around them, and made him a queen size comforter for his bed.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to send you a picture of it
Yes.
if I can find it.
My goodness.
Let's get my glasses here so I can see something.
You know, people love that custom work.
I do more custom work than I do anything else.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of
Mm-hmm.
memory quilts. People that have passed on,
Yes.
they'll send me their clothing to make quilts for them. I do the t-shirt quilts.
You are amazing.
I do
You
memory
are.
bears.
Oh my good. What's a memory bear?
Somebody that's passed on that don't have enough clothing to make a quilt. If they've got
Yeah.
just a couple of shirts, I can make a bear out of it. That's also in my made to order section.
My goodness. I'm gonna go over there as soon as I get there.
You'll
I'm making
you'll get
prayer.
lost for hours in there. I'm telling you.
I make prayer bears. I'm trying to get 100 prayer bears made to donate to the Fisher House in
Uh-huh.
Chicago, where my husband went for his kidney transplant.
Let's see. I got one picture in here already. I'm trying to find some others.
Well, Lorri, let
Uh-huh.
me close the broadcast and we can keep talking. Everybody, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed meeting Lorri, and tell me if you had ever heard of rag quilts. And by God's amazing grace, I'll see you. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Lorri. I promised the group a joke. Let me see. I promised the group a joke. What was the last joke, Robert? You can't do that. I can't hear. Let me see. What was the last joke? Um, Wait a minute. Give me a joke. I promised the group I'd have a joke or something funny. He don't have one. Let me see. Lorri, I give the group a joke every day. And let me see, something funny that happened. What was that joke? I forgot it. Guys, I'm sorry. I forgot the joke for tonight. I'll have it in the morning. I promise. Now look, go over to Lorri's uh, Etsy shop, which is Kirby, Kirby, Comforts, Komforts, and look at her quilts.
If you
And
can't
by
find it on Etsy, there's also a website, www.kirbykomforts.com.
there you go. Thank you, Lorri. Now, guys, by God's amazing grace, I'll see you in the morning. Good night.